It's time to work in. Now, usually we want to build major muscle tissue, we want to improve body composition, and it's HIIT or strength training. But today, it's all about mobility and flexibility and decreasing a little cortisol. So when you're ready for it, realize that this is also a fantastic functional workout. There's a lot of body weight. So if you can't bear weight on your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder, this one's not for you. A couple of things to pay attention to before we dive in. Hinging at the hips. You're going to do a lot of forward flexion. So when you're doing a lot of repeats of anything, make sure we're doing it really well. So you want to make sure you're keeping a minor arch to the lower back. You're hinging at the hips, so you're coming down this way. You're not rounding through the back. Second and third, watch your hand placement on the mat. You want to make sure that the crease of your wrist is parallel to the top edge of your mat. So be careful about turning these palms in or turning them out. And you may do something different with one you don't do with another. You're just potentially compensating and don't even realize it. So check in every once in a while. Last but not least, when you lower yourself down, watch your shoulders. Now we can't see them because we don't have a mirror on the floor, but really important that you're not feeling this lifting up here. When you come up into that upward facing dog, you don't want to be here. You want to be here, pushing those shoulders down, really pushing the strength of the arms down, lifting the sternum up. Focus on those two things, 3, and your practice will get much easier and much more effective. All right, I'll see you on the flip side. Don't forget to subscribe if this was helpful. I'd love to have you comment on how it's working for you, and you can come back to this one over and over again. Namaste. Everything we do today is about opening your heart. We're going to do a lot of chest and heart openers. So it's always good to lead with your heart anyway throughout life. But we also have that extra tension that comes in at the anterior part of your shoulders. At the shoulders, then you're getting this because we've got passive opening of the upper back. Life is out front. We're texting. We're falling forward. We're going to help you come up and out of that. And you want to be a little bit more aware of what's happening through the back of your neck as well. So making sure crown of your head comes toward the ceiling, chin is tucked slightly down. Anytime you're lying on your back on the mat, the weight of your head is in the center of your head. So you're not jamming your chin to your chest, feeling it here, but you're here and you're actively pushing backward. That engages the muscles in the back of the neck so that it counters this forward head hang that many of us don't realize we're doing and yet always are. So it's chin up and back and then comfortably getting into a relaxed place with that. All right, so we will start with a series of sun salutations just so that we are going into that forward fold. So that is a lot of folding. That is not any chest opening, but you will see that we get there. As you come down, you're going into chaturanga. When we are at the top of a push-up pose and we're in this lowering down stage, I want you to be careful that you're lowering down just like this, broad, and not like this. And if you are, you may want to drop to your knees, just come down and place it. Okay, super important, good posture. And that goes for you if you're doing push-ups or trying. They're probably not your best tool in the bag right now. Feet down. We're going to rock forward. Balls of your feet in your heels. Good, and just kind of loosen up all the way through. So get a little awareness. Kind of gets a little easy to get static thinking about any one thing. So loosen up. It's just yoga, okay? There's more stressful things in our lives, right? Heels down, big toes, little toes down. And then keep that little bit of laxicity through your ankles. So got some mobility still there. Also through the knees. So not allowing them to hyperextend. So we don't want them to get locked. I don't want you to put them into flexion. Just want you to lengthen so you're taller. But in order to get tall, we sometimes lift from the floor. Ground those feet again. Now lift from it so you're rooting. And then pelvis in that neutral position. Good, and rib cage lifted up and off that pelvis. We kind of get like this at the end of the day. We lose height. Part of that is discs get more compressed. We lose some of the fluid in the discs by the end of the day. However, we also just get sloppy. We get tired. We lift this up and we're now getting more room to get more air in. Shoulder blades, though, need to be down. Drop the fingertips and get ready. Reach out.
big long reach, like you're getting ready to give somebody a great big hug. Reach up, lengthen fingertips upwards, send those heels down at the same time, and then dive forward. Tailbone goes back. Allow your head to come down. Inhale, take a nice long spine stretch to the front. And remember, again, crown of your head away from your tailbone. Exhale and come down. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, release your hands to the heart. Good. Inhale, bring this up. And exhale, dive forward. Inhale, take that spine stretch forward. And exhale, just a little bit deeper here. Take it back up to the top. Good. I just want to develop a little heat, warm you up here. And exhale, take your hands in, heart center. Check in. We go, same beginning, adding on, inhale. And exhale, dive forward. Inhale, spine stretch to the front, stepping back into your plank pose. So here's where your awareness needs to come in. Inhale, exhale, keep that shoulder open and back. Inhale, come into your upward facing dog. And then exhale into downward facing dog. Now, ironically, we're folded forward, but this is a shoulder opener. Begins the chest opening exercises for your day. And if the shoulders get open in this position, in any other position, they're much more likely to be open. So we're going to enjoy this one, and we'll come back to it again 1 or 2 times before we go on to some of the other chest openers. Inhale. And exhale, send your heels down into the floor. Good. On the end of your next exhale, you're going to step forward with both feet right between your hands and allow the weight of your head to come down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, drop those shoulders down, palms in. A nice job. Inhale. Moving with your breath, you exhale as you fold. Inhaling. And then exhale a little bit deeper, and this time go ahead and step all the way back. Pushing back into your plank. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog is also a chest opener. Allow it to be that. Exhale into downward facing dog. And exhale, send your heels down. You can do a little walking side to side if you like. Inhale and exhale. Breathe out. Good. And again, inhale and exhale. Good. And relax. I'm going to have you drop down. So as we open up the shoulders, this may feel like this is much more work than yoga should be. And indeed, it could be a little bit more work. So I want you to get down here into a position where you're comfortable. And if you're not comfortable in this child's pose, you may want to try to elevate, come up a little bit higher, and see if you can still mimic the rest of the work. So coming back and sitting back here, your knees may be a little bit wider, might also help you feel more comfortable here. But you are going to allow your forehead to rest on the mat. Your elbows are slightly bent on the mat. Good, and sorry about the change to my voice, but this is going to happen when you're kind of crunching your diaphragm up. But what I want you to do here is crawl your right fingertips forward. So you're getting a stretch through your shoulder, through the arm, and somewhat through your side where your latissimus dorsi is like finger muscles around your rib cage. I want you to reach it forward as far as you can, and then your thumb, I want you to bring up toward the ceiling and keep turning and rolling it over. So your palm is face up. starting with your thumb, and then raise your hand off the ground. If you can, you're going to find you leverage with your head just a little bit, but I want you to raise that up. And you're looking for how much can I raise that up? How high will that go for me? Lengthen up and then release and bring it down. Palm faces in and drop this back. So a little strength through that side, but I want you to now bring that one back in so it's comfortable as a resting point. And you know where you're going. Left arm, crawl this forward, fingers here. Reach, you're going to feel the stretch through the arm, the shoulder, and the latissimus dorsi in the side. Thumb up. And then rotate, continue over, palm up. Good, and with this one, I want you to reach it off the ground, and you may find it's easier or harder, of course, on this side. Reach, forward and up, forward and up, forward and up. And then release that down and release. Allow it to recoil, just bringing it back toward you will do that. So we want those muscles to relax. You can lift the head off the mat, just prepare for bringing yourself in and up. Good, and drop down into the hips and back and over to the mat. So a little contraction. What happens after you contract? There's a relaxation, and so downward dog is the same. We're down, we're actually using the shoulders, even though we're opening, giving a little leverage with weight to open them. But when you come back up, you may notice if you raise the arms up and overhead, you may feel now you've got more mobility than potentially you have had in the past. And it may be more apparent when you're on your feet. I want you to bring your heels in here. We're going to go into simply a bridge. Good chest opener. It's a great thing for beginners and intermediate if you feel like you're compromised in the shoulders, you're not going to weight bear on them and not coming into a wheel pose. That's okay, all right? So from this position here, I want you to inhale, raise the hips up. Good, and detail-wise, I want you to be aware, it's perfectly normal to arch your back here. But what I want you to do is tuck that pelvis toward your knees. No longer should you be feeling stress in that lower back. Holding here, and then so collapse your hands underneath you and then wiggle your shoulder blades underneath you as well. Push the floor away with your hands. Open the chest and shoulders. Remember, weight in the center of your head. Inhale here. Exhale. Good. Strength. So you're really pushing down with that clasped hand, with your arm, the whole length of it. Tuck the pelvis. And this is a great chest and shoulder opener as well. And then release, kind of wiggle those shoulders back from underneath you, drop down. Good, release that. Good, just let yourself kind of recover. Shoulders have had a little exercise already. We're going to come up one more time, either into a wheel pose, next difficult, or you're going to repeat what we've just done. Coming into the bridge, crawling the shoulders underneath for another, just a repeat. Perfectly fine if that's where you need to be. If you know you have the strength through the shoulders, your spine can handle that arcing, then you're going to come up with me into wheel pose. And I know first we pause at the head. So feet, hands, and head will be down. Your head is really not weight bearing. It's just there kind of spotting so that you could move the heads for a moment or move the hands if you need to reposition. So on an inhale, we come up with power when you're ready. Inhale. Good. Reposition the hands if you need to, elbows in, and then inhale, and we come up into that wheel pose. So lifting and making sure in your mind's eye, you're working on getting the curve through the lower, the middle, and the upper portion of your chest. Open. We don't need to hold here for long. Slowly lower, tuck your chin. Release. Good, and relax. And keep that body, the torso straight. Just for a moment, that recoil that needs to happen. And then you can bring the knees in. Sometimes very much too abruptly, we go from completely taking the spine into extension and then into deep flexion. It's a little hard on it. So just move a little more slowly between extremes. Good, releasing. Nice job. Hold here. Good. And rotate. Good. I'm going to have you come up into a seated position. And one other exercise. Over to your knees. And options are curling the toes under if you're able to do so that you're elevated a little bit. As I ask you to reach back, you may also not take that option, okay? So if you can't put your feet up like that, the option for you is to reach all the way down. More range of motion required here. But you can also just take your hands, either knuckles, the knuckle face here, right in the small of your back, on the bucket of your pelvis, not on the soft tissue alone, or palms flat against your back. What you're going to do is engage the core, not allowing the hands to do all the work, but I want you to lift up. So you're already pulling back through the shoulders. Open, lift that sternum up and forward. Bring it out, open, just as far back as you can without compromising your breath or being able to talk should be okay. Good. Now, if you feel and you can and you know it, you can do elevator to flat feet, hands back, and once you come back, you want to release the head. Good. Head just hanging. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Again, inhale. Exhale. Coming up directly through the front. Don't go to the side. Inhale. And then release. Hands down. Take your hips to the side. Good. And relax. We'll do one more very slight shoulder opener. So your legs here just kind of curled around each other. Hand down here. We're going to take this arm up, reach it up and over. But notice that I'm reaching so that I can take my sternum toward the ceiling and then push up. So we're getting chest and shoulder. And please drop your hips down, flip your legs to the other side, and repeat this stretch. This is one of those times when technology is not your friend and you're glad you've been doing yoga, so your mind is blissful dealing with it. Namaste. Don't forget, subscribe and click the bell if you want to be notified each time there's a new video.